probably want that.
This night.
Yeah.
And it is Friday morning time for the first federal program here on WROI. And of course on their Facebook page as well as they are streaming live. And you know, Dick, I will say it is a beautiful morning. The sun is shining.
You are correct, Paul. It's going to be a great weekend.
Absolutely love it when the sun's shining. It makes for a great day.
Well, we're going to have an interesting program. We got Mark Kepler here, our county agricultural agent, and you got a longer title than that, but we'll talk about that a little later. Some of our lead stories this morning is Governor Holcomb said Indiana schools being open in the fall is likely to happen. Is that right, Tanner?
Yep, that's what I read this week, so.
Okay, we had a primary election Tuesday. Congratulations to Steve Fishburne and Lori Hurst, who won at-large seats for the Fulton County Council. Mason Heidi and Phyllis Bollinger are only separated by one vote.
Yep, too close to call yet.
And we got two service people's votes coming in, has to be in by next Friday.
Yep, waiting for those ballots,
Yeah.
so some tension building
Okay.
here.
Well, great weekend, a lot of things happening. By the way, when you go through downtown, check out the flower pots by Kim Landis and her daughter. They're beautiful. They do a great job, and they're out there almost daily tending to them, watering them, and make sure everything happens. Well, I mentioned we had Mark Kepler here, and of course he's with the Purdue College of Agriculture. And we got two trivias this morning. Number one, in what year was Purdue College of Agriculture founded? Was it 1869, 1889, or 1909? Boy, those are old
Yeah.
numbers.
Yep,
And locally, how many Fulton County youngsters do we have in 4-H? Is it 200, 300, or 400? Okay, Tanner, give us a little information on sports.
yeah, I'd be happy to. We're trying to grill you this morning, Paul, with two questions, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna. One is similar to one we've had in the past, so I'm trying to recall that one.
We do have a few things to hit on sports this week. One's of a local note. The Notre Dame Navy football game that was originally scheduled to be played in Ireland on August 29th will now be played at Navy for the first time in series history, and the matchup has been pushed back to week 1. It was supposed to be the first game of the year and played in Ireland, like I said. But it's interesting, they've played many years, this series, but it's always played at around where the Ravens play or a professional football team plays.
Where the money is.
Yeah, where the money is, where Notre Dame can get more of their fans there, to
Yeah.
be honest. But this year it's going to be played on Navy's campus. That'll be interesting to see.
Well, they're going to have 25% seating.
Well, and I'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
That's just been stated by Purdue so far.
Okay.
So I don't know what some other universities are going to do, but that game will still be nationally televised, of course. Yeah, like Dick mentioned, 25% seating. Purdue Athletic Director Mike Bobinski came out yesterday and he said the plan as of right now, he said it could change to more or less by the time football season comes in early September. The plan right now would be Purdue would only fill 1/4 of their stadium, which holds 57,000. So if you look at a fourth of that, that's about 14,250. Then the question is, who gets those seats?
Well, we don't care as long as you and I get seats.
You're right. But that would be interesting, and then how do they separate everybody to be social distancing? So it's definitely a job I don't envy. That's probably a headache of a job to figure out. So, but that's probably a good sign that we are going to have a football season if they're planning like that right now. So, which most colleges, student athletes, fall student athletes are getting back on campus around this time. So. The NBA is officially returning on July 31st. They're having 22 of the 30 teams return, so there's 8 teams that are done for the season. They're all going to be playing in Orlando. There's going to be 8 regular season games left to determine seeding for the playoffs. Then they'll start the playoffs. But the weird thing to me is they're having 13 teams in the Western Conference play and 9 teams in the Eastern Conference play. So they invited the top 8 seeds and any team that was within 4 games of the playoff spot. So
Wow.
they're all going to be sanctioned in the same hotels, but they are going to be allowed to eat in outdoor restaurants and play golf. But
Okay.
they've been really kind of strict with what they can and can't do.
And I heard they're going to continue the playoffs through what, October?
October 12th, I want to say, would be Game 7.
Yeah.
And they also said that's when they're going to hold their NBA draft is in October.
Oh wow.
So everything's kind of getting pushed back into football season, but
Yeah.
I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And they're going to play these games throughout the day, kind of like their summer league. So some games will start at noon and go clear through night. So they're just going to
Wow.
stack them back to back to back to back to back throughout the day. So it'll be interesting to see.
It will.
Major League Baseball is not close to returning at the moment. The MLB shot down the players' proposal of a 114-game season. So the owners and players are still far apart on the salaries, so something to keep an eye on. Because if they're going to have a season, they probably need to start by July 4th or so. So
Yeah.
time's kind of starting to crunch. But IndyCar returns this week, and PGA Tour returns next week. So getting some sports leagues back. And speaking of racing, no fans are going to be allowed at this year's Brickyard 400, which is over the July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
So
If I recall correctly, there weren't many fans there last year.
there hasn't been the last couple of years. It's kind of been going losing interest, I would
Yeah.
say. But
Sure has.
Yeah. But
Still.
if you're still interested in the Brickyard, you'll be able to hear it here.
exactly. So
That's always a
so,
plus.
so they're still going to race, just
Yeah.
no fans, unfortunately. And got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1988, the first Children's Network telethon was aired, and it raised $590,000. I should have looked up what that would equivalent to today, but I didn't. On this day in 1991, the space shuttle Columbia 12 was launched. Thought that was kind of fitting since we just did a space launch.
We did? No, I'm kidding.
And on this day in 1998, popular movie The Truman Show was released. You ever seen that one?
Oh yeah.
With Jim Carrey?
Oh yeah.
It's a good one. And here's what everybody waits for. Everybody wants to know what national day it is.
Yep.
Today is National Sausage Roll Day, National Donut Day, that's a big one,
It is.
National Co-working Day, National Moonshine Day,
Yeah.
Fish and Chips Day, and Hot Air Balloon Day.
I think we can get all of those but the last one.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing hot air balloons yet or not.
Probably not, but that Donut Day one, I like that one.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, while you got the mic there, Tanner, tell us about the Fulton County Chamber of Commerce, a little promotion they got, and also the JA golf outing.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Fulton County Chamber of Commerce is holding a gift card extravaganza. Saw Jillian Smith posted a Facebook video talking about it the other day. She was a gal buying gift cards. They're giving away up to $1,000 worth of gift cards. How it works is you buy a $10 gift card from a chamber business, and you can find their business list on their website. Take a picture of the receipt and send it to the email address of chamberassist@rtcol.com. And the chamber will also buy a $10 gift card from that business. And then you'll get entered into a drawing. The drawing, I think this is going until next Friday, I think is the deadline for this. So pretty cool way to get the community involved and get some local business going. So, and also the Junior Achievement of Fulton County is holding its annual golf outing on June 12th, which is next Friday. I believe today is the deadline for teams and sponsors, but they are still looking for teams and sponsors. Registration fee is $240 for a team and $60 for an individual. Sponsor options range from anywhere from $60 to $500. You can contact Beth Miller for more information. You can reach her by her phone number at 574-551-4698 or email at miller@ja.org. They're the first golf outing, I believe, that will be held at the golf course this year. Most of them
Yeah.
have got canceled or postponed. I know I'm working on one for Habitat for Humanity. Ours is going to be on August 15th this year, so we're in the planning stages right now, and got some flyers going out to different people around the public, so we're looking forward to that.
And I always just sit in my living room and watch everybody ball.
You got a good seat there, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I get to social distance that way.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Tanner.
You're welcome.
By the way, tomorrow at the recycling center, you can drop off up to 4 used tires
That's always a good deal.
off the rim.
Yep,
They
take
don't
them,
have to-
yeah, don't leave them on the rim.
Also, I see today in the Sentinel that Rochester Telephone Company is gonna open their business office beginning June 15th. And also this weekend, June 6th and 7th, is free fishing.
Ooh,
You can
Yeah.
fish on any public waters without a license, so.
that's a good deal.
Mark, if you wanna go fish and don't have a license, it's okay. Alright. Milestone, Kay and Greg Barish will celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary Saturday. Both have taught at Caston schools for more than 40 years. Some flowers to the elected election officials, the people that run the election, and the candidates. It takes a lot of effort, and especially with times like this, it's very difficult. So, our flowers to them. Okay, in money news, well, the Dow was up 11 yesterday. It's been up really good for the whole week. It has surpassed 26,000. It's now 26,281. This is kind of a surprise to everybody, I think, that those things are happening. Now, tell us about the theaters. What's happening in the theater world, Tanner?
Yeah, I read this on CNBC.com that AMC Theaters, which is the world's largest theater chain, they're having a substantial doubt that they can remain in business. They closed their theaters earlier this year, but they expect to have lost between 2.1 billion and 2.4 billion in the first quarter alone.
Ouch.
And they're seeing more videos like I think it was Trolls Worldwide, or I don't know if I got the title of that right,
Trolls World Tour.
World Tour, something like
Yeah.
that. It went directly to on demand at home and did a lot better than it probably would have done in the box office.
Yeah.
But there is something fun about going to a movie theater and
It
experiencing
is.
a new release. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But it's starting to trend more and more like these on-demand videos might be the way to go. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Because of course everybody looks at it as well. You got to rent it for $20.
Yeah.
So even if there's only 2 people, we're still getting $20
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Versus $5, $6, $7, $8 a ticket.
But if AMC's struggling, I can't imagine
Mm.
how the other theater chains are doing. So.
Yeah.
Drive-in theaters are coming back.
Yep, that's a good point. Those
Yeah.
will probably be more popular now than ever. Well,
Oh, yeah.
maybe not than ever, but more popular than
They have
have
been
been
in
in a
years.
little while.
Yeah.
Some of our grandkids went to the drive-in
Mhm.
last weekend, and it was, of course, they'd never seen anything like that, so
That's fun.
I hadn't seen it since high school, so. Okay, our lobbies are closed, but our drive-through is still open today and tomorrow during normal work hours. You can always bank with us online and with our mobile apps, which is free to download. Our ATM is open 24/7 as well if you need some cash. Tell us about our opening new accounts, Tanner.
Yeah, we're still opening new checking accounts, new Simply Free checking accounts right now, whether it's through drive-through or we can get most of your information over the phone. If you want to call in, then come through the drive-through, curbside, however you need to get it done. And right now, if you open up a Simply Free checking account, Simply Free business checking account, you will get a free Brentwood picnic blanket. And it's black and white themed. It's kind of like checkered or zebra, either way you want to look at it. So it's perfect for race season, as Dick said,
Yeah.
and also perfect for if you're a Rochester Zebra or Zebra fan. So makes for a really nice gift, and we're still opening a bunch of accounts. So if you're not happy with your current bank or financial institution, come to First Federal Savings Bank and we'll take care of you.
We offer many different mortgage products such as conventional loans, one-stop construction loans, premier first-time home buyer loans, and more. I get a lot of questions about, well, how's the banking business? Is it suffering? Fortunately, it is not. Interest rates are really low. You can get a 15-year fixed down to about 2.75 now in that area. 30-year fixed just a little over 3 and it's just unbelievably low. So our loan demand is great, and we're closing a lot of loans. We also offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Lindy Breeden for more information on that. We also offer financial services. Contact Mark Blubaugh or Brian Bell today for more information. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. By the way, are we on now?
Yep.
Okay.
We're live on Facebook right now, so you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Banking. You can also like us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we're all over the place.
We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting standards. We are a member of FDIC and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927. Mark Kepler, Purdue Extension Educator, Agricultural and Natural Resources. Do I have that reasonably correct?
You got it right.
Okay, is your paycheck as long as that, is that title?
6 digits, yes, 6 digits.
Yeah, okay,
That's a normal month for me.
Well, Mark, we're glad to have you here. I enjoyed your column this morning in the Sentinel about starlings. The reason we have starlings in the U.S. is because of Mr. Shakespeare, right?
That's right. It's interesting. That's how the bird came about. Somebody decided that they wanted to have all the birds named in Shakespeare's sonnets brought into the United States, so they brought in the starlings. And I always remember a story about the first time that they saw them in Illinois. People drove 50, 60 miles down to southern Illinois to see the starlings and see what they looked like.
Okay, before we went on the air, you told me that there are 3 species that have no season on. You can kill them anytime.
Right.
Tell us what those are.
Those are the starling,
Okay.
the English sparrow, which house wrens, it's all, they give them a lot of different names. It's actually a wren, kind of a type of, it's a house wren. And the pigeon. And those are the 3 that you can shoot anytime. Things like crows have a season on them, and other birds have seasons on them, but those are the ones.
Pigeons. I haven't seen any recently.
And that's what we were talking about, Dick. Given the right person, you probably got hordes of pigeons hanging around the place, but I haven't seen them for a long
Well,
time.
one of the favorite places for them to hang around is courthouses.
Yes.
There hasn't been any over there.
No.
We used to have a few crows, and the county commissioners got rid of those. I'm not sure how, but they managed.
Yeah, they did. They were coming in the fall of the year, and there was hordes of them kind of around
Yeah.
there. But yeah, starlings really are an issue on dairy farms, livestock farms. They got the feed, they got everything that's out there, and so it's really difficult to try to control those starlings in that situation. And so they're a real pest. Of course, those sparrows are also.
Yes, okay, now let's talk about fairs.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna have a Fulton County Fair,
sort of.
maybe, huh?
Not a maybe, it's sort of.
Oh, sort of, okay, tell us about it.
It's with this whole thing with coronavirus and things are changing. And this year, what we're really attempting to do with the fair is we're not going to have the nighttime activities. We're not going to have the commercial exhibits. All we're going to do is have the 4-H participant show up and show. They call it a show and go, is what it amounts to. So whenever the day the beef show is, they're going to show up that morning, enter their beef animals, show those beef animals, and go home that night. And so really the 4-H fair this year is not the fair like we all want it to be, by a long shot. It's really going to be an opportunity for the 4-Hers to complete their projects, to do what they've been working for all summer long, and to do that in a fast manner, come in, show, and get out. And that's, they call it show and go. Same thing with the exhibits. There won't be the building open with all the poster exhibits and stuff. The children will come in, they'll drop off their posters, they'll get judged, and later on they'll come back and pick up those posters. So it's different.
Well, that's a pretty neat way of doing it.
Well, one of the things we're going to try to do is we really are not wanting, I mean, it's a hard thing to say, but outside people coming to the fair at all. We are going to have it on RTC, live, the livestock shows that are going to be there, so they're going to have an opportunity to see them or view them in that situation. But I always think about Grandpa and Grandma wanting to come to see their grandsons, grandchildren. You can come, but we really don't think it's a wise thing to do. 4-Hers also will be wearing one of those masks too. and volunteers during the shows. And that's gonna be fairly uncomfortable, depending what the heat is that week, and so we'll be dealing with that aspect of it also.
We can get used to anything.
Yeah, it is, it's
It's a mindset.
Yeah, it's a sad situation to come into, and as we talked about just yesterday, the Indiana State Fair, canceled also. And what they're going to do, and I haven't got the details on this yet, is they're gonna do essentially the same thing that the Fulton County Fair is gonna do, and that is they're gonna allow 4-H'ers to come in on certain days and show, and I don't know how long that's gonna be, but they're gonna have livestock shows, and then they're gonna be gone. And actually, they're gonna stretch that out over a month's period of time, so that it's not all concentrated. So things have changed tremendously, and it's sad to see those things happen.
Yeah, it sure is. In the 4-H field, are there any new projects this year?
Not around here, we haven't, that I'm aware of, started any kind of a new projects along the line. I did wanna mention, Dick, I always think of this coronavirus situation, I always compare it to one of them old westerns. You know how the bad guy comes into town and wreaks havoc?
Yes.
And then ends up getting killed, and that's exactly what this coronavirus is gonna have.
Okay.
It's the bad guy, he's come into town, and it's gonna end up dead somewhere down the road, but in the meantime, it's gonna create a lot of havoc in people's lives, and people will die. And it's a perfect western theme if you really think of it.
Well, boy, that's a stretch.
It is, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. Well, so the state fair is gonna be, the county fair is gonna be much like the state fair, in and out.
Yeah, in and out is what's really gonna happen. So, with the state fair, I don't know exactly how they're gonna do some things. They just announced this yesterday. But, you'll show up with your livestock, you'll show them, and you'll get out of there. And that's essentially what the county fair is gonna be like this time around. We really think that that's the best thing to do. If you take a look at this virus and what's going on with it, I was talking to the county health department just yesterday about it. It's showing up here and there, and you're getting it from people visiting you and coming to see you. And it's not like we got one big epicenter of virus coming into this community right now. It's individual situations that are popping up here and there. And it's still out there, and that's really what we're trying to do, is minimize the chances of that virus coming into the fair. I don't want to be the spot that says, oh, here's the epicenter of the virus. It was the Fulton County 4-H Fair.
Yes.
And it's just not the way 4-H is.
And that's a little bit of the reasoning that First Federal has not opened their lobbies yet. And actually, we don't have a date set yet. We're thinking maybe 2 or 3 weeks. But we don't want to be responsible for getting some of our employees sick or something like that, although we do have the shields all installed in all of our locations now. And so we're ready to open those up.
Totally against how you guys want to do business.
Yeah.
Totally against how we want to do business
That's
too.
right. Thank you. Mark Kepler this morning is Purdue Extension Educator. How long you been in Fulton County?
I've been in Fulton County 24 years. I've been in Extension 35.
Yes. Okay, what changes have you seen here in Fulton County in those 24 years?
Well, there's a lot of different things that go on in our community. I think the Fulton County community is a great community, and that's been proven over and over again in what we're seeing. One of the things that I really see that happens in our community is it's tremendous to me how many people in this community support things, like the fair, for example. So we're not gonna have an auction. There's gonna be no 4-H animal auction this year. And so I know our auction committee is out trying to develop ways that they can support these 4-H'ers in their activities. And our community has been a really great financial support in a lot of ways to our fair. It's been a great financial support to a lot of other activities going on in the community. I always hear the Community Foundation talk about how much of a giving community for that Fulton County is. And so we've seen that through the years happening, and I've seen our people really step up to the plate.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's evident every year that the per capita giving of Fulton County is probably one of the highest giving counties in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, it's great to see, I've never seen that data, I assumed we were pretty good,
Yes.
but I've never really seen that data come through before. And in our 4-H program, when we go to the 4-H livestock auction, I compare it to other communities, and I see our 4-Hers get really nice prices for their livestock at that auction. Again, this year, we're not gonna have that auction. We're not gonna have that opportunity for that 10-year member to come in there and display and have that chance for people to bid, 10-year 4-H member, let's bid this a little bit higher, and give him a good send-off on the way to college or wherever he's going in the future. Not gonna happen this time around.
I know one of your projects that you started and are continuing to work with it in Fulton County is the Academy. Tell us about the Academy.
Well, there's two of them actually. There's the Adult Leadership Academy that we do, and that started years ago before I was ever here. And in fact, Val Pemberton was one of those people that was instrumental in that a long time ago. I actually took it when I was here the first year, so like I said, I've been around for 24 years. And then it kind of went defunct for about 8 years or so. And then a group of us got together and picked it back up. And so I've been doing it for the last, I think, 13 years now, the Leadership Academy in Fulton County. And so I've been the lead instructor in doing that, and I've got a board of individuals in our community that help us put together those different programs. We were meeting at First Federal here until everything fell apart here this spring. Actually, we had 4 classes left to do, and we just canceled them. And I hope I get the opportunity to finish those 4 classes here in the fall, maybe sometime as we come up during that time period. A lot of projects have came out of that Leadership Academy. It's my goal with that Leadership Academy to get people together, for those people to know each other, for those people to do some project in the community, and also learn some leadership skills at the same time.
Well, I followed that pretty closely, and you've just done a great job, and a lot of great things have come out of those committees, that they get their heads together and hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we look at this? And so
I look at that with a lot of pride. I can go by a variety of things in this community, and I can say, because of Purdue Extension, this happened. Now, you won't see our name on it, we didn't do it, but we were the impetus behind the whole project, getting those people together, and because they got together, one of the things we were able to start was a Youth Leadership Academy. And so we have 20 people from throughout the county go through that program each year also.
okay, you got a new person down there?
Yeah, Jessica Riffle
Yes.
is our new HHS educator. HHS stands for Health and Human Services. It used to be the Consumer Family Science. Before that, it was the Home Ec program.
Okay.
Things have changed, and in that position has changed a lot. Jessica's got a background in she's a diabetes specialist. She is essentially a person who can help you out in your diets, and that's what her background is. So she fits in that HHS category. She also fits into that home ec category, if you think about it, along that same line. So she has started in our office, and with all this coronavirus, she's not been in the office very much, but she still is doing a lot of activities, and she's got herself warmed up and going, and we're really anxious to see, once this thing goes away, doing programming in our community with her.
Mark
Good to
Kepler.
have her.
Mark Kepler, thank you for coming in today. Thank you for sharing with us about the Fulton County 4-H Fair, Show and Go.
Show and go, that's the way we have it. And if you really wanna see some things, I suggest get on and take a look at it on the cable channels.
And they're going to, RTC's gonna carry it live?
Yes, they are. I think some of the shows are not gonna be able to do that, because they're not gonna be able to do 2 at once.
Yes.
But I don't know how that works. Tanner could tell me better. Some of them will be on Facebook and all those kind of things. So they'll get it done for us.
Okay, our trivia this morning: in what year was Purdue College of Agriculture founded? 1869, 89, or 09? You got an opinion on that?
I'm gonna go 69.
No, no,
Okay.
no.
So Purdue was established in '69.
Okay.
That was their first year, and
Oh,
right,
yeah, correction. I'm looking. It's 69. That's correct.
yeah, Purdue
Okay.
was established in '69.
Yeah.
And agriculture would have been one of the things right out the gate that I would have thought would have been that way. Yeah.
Well, that's why those universities were founded back then.
agriculture, sciences, and humanities is
That's right.
what they
that's
got
right.
into.
And also, the second trivia was, how many 4-Hers do we have in Fulton County? Is it 200, 300, or 400 approximately?
I'm gonna go 200.
400.
Oh,
Yeah. We've
Okay.
got
You mean we
400.
got 400 young
Wow.
people involved in the
And we
program?
could use more, and we encourage more people to sign up. You know, this is a anomaly this year, but in future years, we could love to have more. It's a great program to get into. It's a U.S. Department of Agriculture program administered through Purdue University. So we have a variety of rules and regulations.
No good.
But we have to do those, and that's the way the state of affairs in the United States is. So we're anxious to get more people in 4-H.
Okay, let's leave this program this morning with words of wisdom. Leave it better than you found it. I'm not sure who said that, but leave it better than you found it.
great.
And that's what you've done.
Thank you.
Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Dick.
Tanner.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Mark.
All righty.